hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's the After Show where we gather. Actually, why do we do the After Show? That's the question. Does anybody actually know? Can't we get it all in 3 hours? That's the question.
We talk about it all week.
All right, we got Jim, Tom, Michelle, and a player to be named later. So we will bring... you never know who's going to be hanging around in this place. Michelle, welcome back.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So was that a ringer caller that you had call in and say his favorite cartridge was the 327 Federal?
Family member.
I know. I said, he's going to think this is a setup.
Yeah, no kidding. You think?
Somebody had to do it.
How can it be his favorite when he hasn't even shot it yet? Now, come on. Be reasonable. Because
he trusts me.
He just knew that would get him on the air and get him past the call screener.
He's no dummy.
I'll give you a hat.
No matter what you actually want to talk about, just call Michelle and say, hey, I want to tell him how wonderful the 327 is. Okay, sure. You'll be on.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure. Okay. Well, okay, we got to do this. My sister Barbara texted me in the middle of the show, said she just finished up her concealed carry class with the Firearms Academy of Seattle. I said, well, you want to be on the after show? And she's just crazy enough, like we are, to do that. So we're going to bring her in right now. My sister Barbara. So are you home now?
How about that? Hi, Tom. I am home.
Hey. You are home back in the Tacoma, Gig Harbor area, which is not that far a drive down to the Firearms Academy of Seattle.
Not at all. It's down in Centralia, and it's a beautiful place, too. It's about an hour and a half from here, but also you get the chance to go out through some beautiful countryside out to the fire range, and I enjoyed that yesterday. And today is, I might say, a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. It's just gorgeous outside.
I thought it rained all the time. Was that just the Chamber of Commerce that said that?
Not the Chamber. It's what we tell everybody so that we
keep them away.
That's right. Don't move here. You won't like it.
No. It's always raining. It's just that liquid air.
That's right. All right. So now you grew up around guns, obviously, being the daughter of Gresham and such, but not self-defense stuff at all, because we didn't do that when we were growing up. So this was quite the departure for you. You want to tell us why, and then you can tell us how it went.
It definitely was. I mean, it is interesting. I think growing up as a Gresham, it imprints you with so much about what it means for the responsibility of firearms ownership and the use of, et cetera. But then this is a whole other thing. You know, we were using mostly shotguns and rifles, and I can hardly ever remember even using a pistol of any sort, really. So taking this class was just terrific. I have to say the people at Firearms Academy of Seattle are just amazing. I took my first class there about a year and a half ago, general firearms safety, and that was really outstanding. And this particular class with the concealed carry was equally as good. The two instructors were Matthew and Bell, and I believe Bell is new to Firearms Academy of Seattle, and both of them were so diligent. In every level, we had probably about 15 people in the class at all levels of experience and knowledge, and they were good with all of us. I learned a lot. I learned a lot new things, and I know a lot about what I need to know now, so I've already signed up for the next class.
That's perfect. That's just because that's one of the things you get out of a class is you go, okay, that's a whole bunch of stuff I realize I don't know. So,
oh my gosh!
In
it
your
was
text to me, 8 hours, and you said it was like only an hour of it was in the classroom.
That's right. And then we had about a half-hour lunch, but we met for the first hour, talked about safety, talked about what we were going to go over, but the amount of material they were able to cover in that time was just amazing. General, handgun handling, but fundamentals of handgun marksmanship, of course, the safe draw and fire techniques, holster selection, a whole other area I'd never thought of, concealment clothing. I thought, I'll just wear a vest. And that turned out to be fine, but then they explained all sorts of ways you can work with an overhead garment, an open garment in the front, an open garment in the back. And I never really thought about the details of, I thought about the details, this was interesting to me, of getting to my my gun when I needed to go for it, I didn't think about how I put it back in the holster.
Yes.
And that was something new and much more complicated, really, than getting it out effectively. So, but
sure, and it's actually a safety area too.
Oh, they were so good about every element of safety, and the exercises that they took me through from the beginning to a little bit more intense. And what I would learn is that I was surprised at how often the things that I knew to do, I wasn't doing when I speeded up the activity. And I would catch myself, I think that was a really, a red beacon, a red alert. How much more basic can keep your finger off the trigger be? And you think, I'll never do that.
Right. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, on the dry fire exercises, I'd find myself, doing it. And I think, how hard is that just to keep your finger out there in front on the barrel? Mm-hmm. But you're dealing with so many things. And I think that was the value, too, that multiplying all the different elements of safety teaches you how to think about it. And it was really terrific. Reloading skills.
And in that amount of time, you can cover a lot. And to your point, and it's, Michelle, I'm going to get you to jump in here because it's one of the things that we talk about is, a 1-hour class is good, but a multi-hour class, you can really start to get people up to speed.
Right. And consistency of training and repetition of training is really what you're after. Some people call it muscle memory when you're in for competition. And it becomes the same type of a thing, though. It's that repetition and consistency. So, Barbara, I want to ask you, when you went for your training, did you take the gun that you were going to use for concealed carry with you, or did they have you take a larger frame gun?
Interesting. I did take the gun that I intend to use. It's the one that I have, and they did require you to bring a gun that you had. They didn't have others. During the class, though, they did talk about other options. So mine is a Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm, and of course it's one of the larger ones that people were using, but not the largest. And they talked about the pros and cons of some of the smaller ones, and as it related to how you carry and the cant of forward or backward facing, if you're going to carry it forward over your hip. And of course, women's carry has a few more challenges sometimes than men. So they discussed that as well.
Do they break you apart from the men when they go into the women's training, or no? Is it all together? I don't know how they do it there.
It was all together, and at first they might kind of the male instructor would kind of hesitate over, well, when you're carrying here, which is kind of around your and the female would kind of dance around it until Phil would just say, hey, that's around our boobs and our breasts. It's really okay. It's just a part of the body. Kind of broke the ice,
Awesome.
Vive la difference.
It's just another thing that poses a challenge, but yet some opportunities as well.
All right. I'm going to have to say welcome to the club of trying to figure out where and how and what to carry properly. It's a complicated world.
And it goes on, doesn't it, Michelle?
It does. There's going to be, at least for me, scrapes and bruises and calluses that you work into. And gosh, you just learn that all real quick.
Well, and the family of people that you develop around, sport shooting and of course, in the course of learning this self-defense, everybody there was so helpful to each other. And one of the things that happened to me, I'm sitting there struggling, trying to put my bullets in the magazine, and I'm just trying to push that thing down and back. And this gentleman that was just really able and obviously very experienced finally came over to me and said, do you have one of these? And he handed me one of those, quick loader things. And so I said, well, tell me about that. And so he showed me how you can clamp it on there and push it down with the bullet in it and do it again. I said, oh, my gosh, you're my angel. You're my guardian angel. He's my best friend for life. Talk about calluses. I was wondering how the heck I was going to tell the physician what went wrong with my thumb today.
So now Barbara's online ordering things,
Exactly. Oh, that's the thing. You learn so much about what you don't know, what the opportunities are, the exercises to do, and I just can't recommend it enough. It's a way of thinking, and they continually, of course, talked about the responsibility that goes along with carry and, of course, even owning a firearm and having it. And I respected the way they approached the entire subject matter, never let up. I mean, really, we were on our feet for 6 hours, up and down, and then it would have us load, for instance, one exercise, one bullet in each of the magazines. And we were going through the action of the safe draw, the extension, the shoot, and releasing the cartridge, and then reinserting the extra one, and then, of course, reloading, and continually going on and on and on. I came home last night. I covered my entire legs and knees with BioFreeze.
That's a lot of bending over and picking up magazines.
Oh, my gosh.
That's right. Hold on. I got to take a quick break here. We're going to come back, and I want to talk about what it's like to when you actually start deciding to carry. Talk with my sister, Barbara, and we'll be right back.
Get the fastest semi-automatic trigger for your AR rifle with Franklin Armory's BFS trigger. The binary firing system offers a 3-position selector for binary, semi, and safe modes. In binary mode, your AR fires 1 round on pull and 1 round on release. Works in any AR, is easy to install, no paperwork needed. 100% U.S. made, patent pending. The BFS trigger from Franklin Armory at a dealer near you or at franklinarmory.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com. All right, we're back with you. More of the after show. Talk with my sister Barbara, who just finished taking her concealed carry class with the folks at the Firearms Academy of Seattle. I've had Marty Hayes on here. I've had Gila Hayes on. That's their school. Really good people, very quality. And we got Michelle and Tom and Jim over here. They're just kind of taking notes. And I can practically hear all you guys nodding. It's like everybody has been through this, Barbara, this thing that you've just done where you walk away and you're going, holy cow, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Keeping it all ordered in your mind. And everything made sense, absolute sense. And now you just have to keep it and do it enough times. As you said, Michelle, the muscle memory needs to be enhanced and built up, like a good callus, I think.
Right. Well, my takeaway from this is something we've talked about before. You obviously grew up with firearms being in the home, but listening to you now and the passion and the fun that you have just sounds like it completely reinvigorated your drive to move on and keep getting training.
That's true. Well, it is. It's just such fun. It always has been. And, of course, in my background, there's just really nothing about it that wasn't positive. And I think talking to parents today and something that it is interesting, Tom, you mentioned that we kind of didn't grow up with the whole self-defense concept as our motivation to do this. It was truly the sport of it. And so I hope that young people today are finding ways to have that thrill of learning through these various programs that the organizations out there offer, National Shooting Sports Foundation, et cetera, so that they can create that youthful joy that they perhaps will return to later.
You know, now comes the real question. And as Jim was saying this, said, okay, now you kind of move into, Jim, you might just ask, what are you going to do in terms of carrying? I mean, Jim, when you started carrying, what was the first hard part of it all, I guess?
Not touching it every 2 seconds to verify I had it still, that it hadn't fallen off. I wasn't printing. That was my big concern.
Yeah, and it's just this big chunk of metal you carried. So I mean, are you thinking, Barbara, you are going to carry? 'Cause, I mean, a lot of people get the carry permit and then don't, and that's okay, but it's good experience and training. I mean, what's your thinking at this point?
That is so interesting that you asked that. I'll tell you that about hour 4 yesterday, I thought, I am not a responsible enough person to do this in public. However, I think it was just a very healthy dose of how much you have to remember to do it.
Right.
And making sure that you're doing it right and have the right attitude about it. So I went kind of through that arc yesterday of thinking of how important it is to do it right and learn well and practice well. I do intend to carry. I think that there's a certain element for me about home defense, which is going to be my next class, actually, fundamentals of home defense, that motivate me actually more than the public carry, say, into various places I go, although that may change too. So that's what I'm thinking more about at the moment is how to do that effectively, given space in your home and what you have going on around. So that's what's motivating me now. I would like to build up the resilience and the knowledge to be comfortable, as you say, Jim, with that, with being able to carry in public in the general population. So, baby steps. I guess I'm saying baby steps.
It is baby steps. And what you're describing, where you're in the middle of it and thinking, I don't think I'm good enough to do this, or I'm not competent, that's the arc you describe shows a real good sense of self-awareness. And you're thinking, okay, you were hitting that point where you realize there's a whole lot more to this than I realized. And then you pressed forward and you got better. Now, understand that you are now you're in the beginning 2% when you finish this class, and now it's a case of going out and doing some shooting, but also, and I'm sure they went over this, handling your very, very much unloaded and checked unloaded gun, handling it a fair amount just because it's in your hand, you're putting magazines in it. When you do all that stuff, make sure there's no ammo in the room with you, literally in the room. But it's just familiarization, it's getting to know it, it's being exposed to it all. And probably, honestly, I'm just going to throw this out, if you do decide you want to carry, probably a different gun, knowing you and where you go and the way you dress and all of that, probably something a little bit smaller, I'm thinking.
I think you're right. Because of the way the handle extended kind of up into my rib cage and up toward my arm, made the movements that might have been more smooth if I were able not to have to, I would say, hitch up, to get up and over the handle, would have made it a smoother option for me.
Okay, let me because so nobody can see you, let me explain. Barbara might be 5 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
That was a good part of this I missed. Thank you very much. And, of course, since I really am 6 feet tall, but he's always viewed me as 5 feet tall. No. And I forget that I'm not 6 feet tall in my mind.
Yes. And so when you've got a torso that's that short, having a big gun becomes another set of problems for you. So,
they were very kind, though.
Well, but it's going to be a really good house gun, and we'll get it set up with a light on it for you, but then we'll talk about another gun. Michelle, any thoughts for Barbara as she goes forward on this journey?
Well, I'm just going to have to say congratulations to you for really.
Atta girl.
Thank you.
In the fact that you identified your responsibility in the whole spectrum of concealed carry, and that you are not ready, to me is tremendous. Because most people, they pass this class, they get the card, and I'm good. I know everything there is to know. When we talk about it so many times, there's not. But my biggest thing to you is, Barb, welcome to the club of having too many holsters.
Oh, gee. I wonder where she's going to get a lot of extra holsters.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. Request is in the mail.
We'll have care packages of holsters. Good, because I need to empty out one of these tubs so I can start filling it with another batch of holsters.
Well, I'd love to help you out on that.
Yeah, that's a constant quest, I think, for everyone, finding that exact holster that works so much broad spectrum for everyone.
But then even then, when you find a good holster, even after a while, you go, I wish it would.
Right?
This one,
Okay,
this other one's
that's
got.
so weird.
Get out your
I have a
dribble.
holster that I wear most of the time, and then the middle of the week, this week, all of a sudden, it's like, God, this thing just doesn't feel comfortable. I've worn it for months, and all of a sudden I'm going, I don't know if I'm walking a different way, I'm sitting a different way. So there you go. Try something else.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I might just have to head on out with you to the SHOT Show next year, Tom, and just look at all the goodies.
There you go.
To take a shopping cart with you.
Try them on.
Exactly.
Plan to stay a while.
Don't tempt me.
Well, she should.
Boy.
You guys are great. Thank you for welcoming me to the party in such a delightful way.
Glad to have you.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, and we will talk later. Now you guys see, I love my sister.
Yeah, right.
How good is she? Way to go, Barbara.
Thank you. Keep up with me in the continuing serial of Barbara's Road to Carrie.
I love it.
To be continued. All right. Talk with you later. All right, guys. So that is the enthusiasm of somebody who has just been to a real school, to a real class. What do you think?
I got a little prediction.
Yeah.
I say a year from now we're going to have another instructor in the family.
She's going to be addicted. Yeah.
I know. Maybe not, but I don't know. She's pretty stoked.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, she's so uncomfortable speaking in public, you can tell.
Yeah, really to pry information out of her.
Well,
If you need somebody to stand in front of a group for 3 hours and do a seminar, she's your person. She can do that. So.
her or her 6-foot self.
Yes, that's right. She thinks she's 6 feet tall. That's the whole thing.
Oh, we all know what a long road she's in for in trying to figure all that out. But gosh, it's so awesome when you have that excitement to move you and motivate you forward.
Yeah, well, this is kind of cool because in the same vein, we do have a follow-up story.
That's true.
We have Tom, who has enjoyed his first week of actually caring.
Yeah.
A full week of carrying.
A full week. And I still feel very
how'd it go?
conspicuous.
Do you still
slowly.
feel like the guy with the sign above your head?
A little bit less. Start small. Like, okay, let's just take the garbage out to the curb. Anything happen? Nope. Okay. Well, let's walk to the store. I find myself I'm trying not to touch it per your recommendation.
Yes.
But I find myself turning my right side away from people in case I am bending or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I felt most conspicuous when I worked my way up from driving with it, going to the store with it. But walking into the bank was interesting because I felt at that moment, if I'm printing or if anybody notices, here's a potential for somebody to panic and get the wrong idea.
There's a man with a gun at the bank.
Yeah, but I walk in, an employee greeted me, and I said hello. I walk over the counter, I filled out my little deposit slip, and I walk up to the teller, Tom, and then it happened. I found it impossible to wipe that stupid-looking grin off my face. Couldn't do it.
It's so true, isn't it? And then they're thinking, okay, what's with this imbecile?
It's my first deposit.
No, you put your gun on the counter and say, I'd like to make a withdrawal.
No, don't follow that
probably
advice.
Not a good idea. No, don't do that. Well, all right. So you're a week in. How are you carrying? What holster? What position? What are you doing?
It's at about 9 o'clock position. I think a little bit behind that.
Are you a lefty?
No.
So 3 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 o'clock. Sorry, my clock is upside down.
He's looking at it above his head. What about that? He wears his watch is on the ceiling.
No, he carries it at 9 o'clock. It's just really hard to get to.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so all right, we're about 3 o'clock inside the waistband.
Yes.
Okay.
And the cant, is that what you call it? The angle, and which it's it pointed a little bit backwards, which I found kind of a little bit uncomfortable when.
Yeah, is that one adjustable? I don't remember on that.
It's not. No,
it's a fixed cant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Some people like them carried different ways, and you talk to some police officers will tell you there's a lot of reason they have them carried canted forward where the barrel's pointed to the back is because they're sitting in a squad car all day. And if it's the other way,
if you want to do that, if your holster won't do that, you can just lean over and walk around like that.
Quasimodo stance. Oh, he's mastered that.
Yeah, you look so natural.
Yeah. He's not printing, but he's limping. Tremendous.
That's right. What's wrong with that poor man?
But overall, you're adapting to it, acclimating, right?
Yeah, feeling less conspicuous, and getting into nobody notices. Nobody's noticed the last 5 times. They're probably not going to notice this time.
Right, and one thing you're probably going to notice is you'll get to a point where you forget you have it on, which I would guess hasn't happened yet.
Nowhere close.
Yeah, but it will, Tom.
And I'm still, I'm still wearing a sweatshirt and a jacket over it, so I'm not worried. I'm like, when it gets warmer, I'm not sure quite how I'm going to feel.
Nice parka,
so you're still in the place where you're actually a gun wearing a man.
There you go.
That's a good way to put it.
It's a gun took you out for a walk. Okay, at a certain point it shifts around, but yeah, it is weird at first, and then as you say, and after a while you realize I'm the only one who's really concerned about this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I mean, because you do always want to be concerned. You want to be aware. And then you have those moments that we've talked about, like when you're getting out of a chair at a restaurant or any place, when you are reaching up or bending over, you kind of adjust. I find that I squat as opposed to just bending over when I need to pick something up. It's not a lot, really. I mean, Jim, anything else come to mind?
Just like when you're hugging somebody, we talked about that before. You kind of turn yourself, and you gave me a great hand technique for when a lady grabs you. It's good to get your right arm below hers, and that way she naturally has to go.
You got to go low with your gun hand. That way, her hand goes up high when you're hugging. Yep. And it does, because and I've had it happen, and I don't know if they ever knew, but I've had when you're at a family gathering, somebody hugs you, and her hand goes right to the gun. She just pats it. And you're thinking, okay, did she simply not know what that was? Did she know what it was? Yeah, or does she just is kind of like, I don't really want to know what that is?
Yes. That's when Tom winks at her and says, "Steel wallet."
Yeah, you really are weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic when people who are around you frequently all of a sudden ask you, "Are you carrying?" And that's a fabulous spot to get to, because you realize that those behaviors aren't even necessary because no one's paying that close of attention, but you feel like
they can't tell.
Yeah, you feel like they are. Everything you do. Yeah. It's an interesting progress.
Well, now this will actually be the first time I think that we've ever used the words boobs on the show officially.
And it wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me. You figured it'd be my sister.
Yeah, and it wasn't a noun describing me, so I'm happy about that,
too.
But, okay, so if you're 5 feet tall and have
any kind of curves,
figure, let's go with that. If you got curves, thank you. You got curves, you go, okay, this is actually an issue. Mm-hmm. Especially if you got and this was a full-size M&P, so we're talking,
that's a big gun.
A full-size gun. That's a lot of gun.
She should take advantage of the rebate on the Shield.
Yeah.
Good thought. Yeah, because I think the Shield's good. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, $75 rebate on a Shield.
Is that through like particular distributors or wherever you buy it?
It's a Smith & Wesson.
It's a Smith rebate. Wow.
Smith & Wesson. You go to the website, get the information, because Shields are going for what? $3.5?
$3.5, $349. Yeah. Some of the box stores. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we're well down below $300 for a Shield. Now, that is like a really good deal.
All the more reason to support somebody local, because if they're $5 or $10 higher, you're supporting a mom and pop shop. You still save $75, and you don't have to support the big box guys. That's no fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd rather much rather deal with a local gun store, a real gun store, because you're dealing with gun people. Although, unfortunately, we still have the ones, and you guys have all been to them, where you walk in. It's like they actually would like for you to leave. Have you ever been into those kind of? It's like
Yeah, they're doing you a favor waiting on you.
Yes. Well, you've interrupted their conversation back behind the counter. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, if this is really going to bother you, I guess I will go spend my money somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and they had the slogan on the wall. It said, "Business would be great if it wasn't for these damn customers. You knew you were in the wrong place."
And then they say, this business is just, nobody can make a living in this business, Yeah, well, that's true if you do business the way you do. If you do it the way Michelle and her family does, actually you can make a good living doing this and have a good business because you have repeat customers.
That's right.
I might even be one of them one day, Michelle. I may come back to you after all.
I'm sorry, you're on. I'm sorry, Jim. You're on the list.
Yeah.
I don't think you're on.
Right.
You can't come back.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, finally, that $5 doesn't matter to you now, Jim.
Yeah, that list.
You're not going to throw in any ammo? Oh, you got me pegged, huh?
We believe in escorting our customers to their car, but I didn't buy anything. Yes, I understand that, but we're still going to escort you to your car.
Do
Nice.
you have your keys? Let me see those. Oh, that one's yours. Let's go out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for stopping by, but I'm not going to.
But I don't really want to encourage you to come back, so it's okay.
Oh, goodness.
Man. Well, that was kind of a fun surprise. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
It was fun getting, you could hear it in Barbara's voice, that discovery of learning new stuff. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that cool?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Give it a year. I'm telling you, she's an instructor.
Yeah.
And she's
You
smart.
may be right.
She's smart.
She may
She
be
can
down there
speak.
teaching with Marty and Gila,
You never know.
Yep.
If I'm right, in a year, you're
So-
buying dinner. Dinner's on you, Tom.
That'd be all right. We could do that. That'd be cool. So now I know what's going to happen. It's going to be the text all the time. Well, what about this holster? What about this belt? What are you gonna do?
The number you've reached has been disconnected.
I'm sorry. Left no forwarding address.
She can
Wait a
call
minute.
me. I'll send her my number.
Yes,
You all
you will.
stick together. Yeah.
Us girls, that's what we got to do.
All right, Tom. So what's on tap for you for this coming week in terms of expanding your horizons?
Just
I don't know.
continue.
Just carry more?
Yeah, just keep going.
Baby steps.
Every day. Just try to do it every day. Can you carry everywhere you go pretty much?
Pretty much. Going into work might be a problem because of the physical activity that I do, where there's
Right.
a lot of reaching and stooping and twisting and
Yeah,
lifting.
and you have to be cognizant of that. That's smart. You don't. It's not worth getting fired over. I can tell you that.
right.
Just be, little piece at a time. And at some point, you may find a different way of carrying that allows you to do that.
I do work at a place that doesn't have those pesky signs,
Oh, that's a plus.
That's a good
and
thing.
I do have an inkling that I'm, not the only one.
Good.
Even better.
Are you going to wear the
There you
I'm
go.
carrying a gun T-shirt?
No.
Okay, good.
Probably best. There you go. Well, congratulations, Tom. This is just great for you to be doing this and just being aware and keep your training up.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep learning. Always.
That's what we're all doing. Absolutely. Oh, I'll share this with you. We just picked up yesterday at the store the new Ruger Scout rifle in 450 Bushmaster.
Ooh.
Really pretty. And so I'm working the bolt, and as is typical, the trigger's a little bit rough. It hadn't been broken in yet. And so I showed the young guy behind the counter, now watch this, and cocked it, with the bolt action, and you got the cocking piece sticking out the back of the bolt. You know what I'm talking about there? Mm-hmm. And you press hard on it while you pull the trigger. And did that about a half a dozen times, then handed it back to him and said, now try it. He tried it and go, wow, it's better. He says, yeah. You could either sit there and just pull the trigger 200 or 300 times in front of the TV on an unloaded gun, preferably. And
Depends how
break
much you
it
hate
in,
the
or you
TV, I guess.
That's true. Or what's on. But you can also just press on it and put more pressure on it and snap the trigger a few times, and it helps burnish out the little burrs and everything in the mechanism of the trigger.
Never thought of that.
See that?
See there? There you go. But yeah, if you get a new bolt-action rifle, and probably true with a semi-automatic, if you're like at home, just make sure you don't have any ammo around, and just sit there and work the action, pull the trigger, dry fire, work the action. A couple of thousand times like that, and it's like you've had the gun for 10 years. It's broken in, it's smooth, you've worn out all the little burrs on the slide and the trigger and everything else, and you just kind of burnished all the metal.
Now, is it good to give it a lube job prior to doing that, or just
Yes,
just
prior and during.
Okay.
No, even then, you don't want it to start galling, so you'll still get the burnishing, the benefit of it,
right,
if it is lubed. Now, you never ever want to put any kind of lube on your trigger, the trigger mechanism,
right,
because lube will attract gunk and grit and junk and dust bunnies.
Cool
which are generally not good for trigger pulls.
Quick break-in method.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if you go out and buy.
The other thing is, just a reminder for everybody, because I'm the world's worst at it. When you're carrying your gun all the time, and you're not shooting it, you need to still clean it like every week or two.
Oh, yeah.
Because it gets full of junk and gunk and stuff. just a reminder, it's summer and we're all getting hot and sweaty and carrying guns, and a good metal protected corrosion protection would not be a bad idea.
So you're saying once a week you drop your gun off at the gun store and have them clean it for you, Tom? Is that what you're saying?
That's it. Actually, I found that the top rack in the dishwasher is a good place for it.
Doesn't affect the primers, huh?
No. I let those rattle around inside of a soup bowl in the bottom. It's fine.
Great.
It's just great.
Great.
Not a problem.
Well, you wouldn't want to spread infection by shooting a dirty bullet.
Well, actually, if you want to find my loose ammo, just look somewhere in either the washing machine or the dryer.
Oh.
Because there's usually a round bouncing around in there somewhere.
Yeah, I found a 9mm on our table today. In a little turnaround in the middle, there's a 9mm. Okay.
All right, Michelle, tell me you've never found ammo like everywhere.
No.
Yeah, right.
Liar. You liar.
Oh,
The center
22s.
console of your car,
Yeah.
the back seat, under the seats.
Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, I have some of those little 22 action rounds, the little plastic orange A-zoom caps. And somebody, one of my good friends got in the car, went to put her drink in the drink holder. She's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Nothing." Pick them up, move them to the back. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, we've been known to find some 22s or pellets or, just depends on where we are in our training and what we're shooting. And of course,
right.
Now that we're all older, you have 45s, 9s. Yeah, you'll find all kinds of stuff.
Yep, they're everywhere. It's and foam earplugs everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, you wash those with your pants. You don't take those out of the pockets.
Exactly. Just leave them in. You can reuse them forever.
That's right.
Exactly
Every
right.
pair,
I like that.
every pair of pants has their own earplugs.
There you go.
It's a customized belt.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, Tom, we're going to send you off for another week of safety and adventure and discovery.
All right, I'll let you know how it goes.
Good deal. You guys be safe, and everybody out there, be safe, take care of your family, and do a lot of shooting.
Be good.
That's fun stuff. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.